He never chased fame. He chased truth. For over 50 years, Bob Seger's rough-edged voice has carried the dreams, heartbreaks, and long drives of working people across America. In a world full of trends and noise, Seger stood for something simpler: honesty. He wasn't the flashiest singer or the prettiest voice on stage, but when he sang, you believed him. And today, we look back at 5 songs that shaped not just his career, but his soul. This is Legend Uncovered. And these are the 5 songs Bob Seger never stopped believing in. 5 old-time rock and roll songs are written to make history. This one just happened to become it. When Seger first recorded old-time rock and roll, it wasn't even meant to be a single. It was a B-side, a simple, straight-ahead tune about missing the real sound of music. But fate had other plans. The late 70s were drowning in disco and synth. Everything felt plastic, too perfect. People missed the grit, the soul, the feeling. Then came Seger with 3 chords, a pounding piano, and a voice that sounded like every working man who ever shouted the truth from behind the wheel of his car. He didn't want fancy. He wanted real. The Silver Bullet Band didn't overthink it either. They locked in, tight, and raw. The drums kicked like thunder, the piano hammered like a heartbeat, and Seger sang as if he was fighting to keep the spirit of rock alive. Nobody expected what came next. The song exploded. Weddings, arenas, bars, and that unforgettable risky business scene with Tom Cruise dancing in his underwear. Suddenly, those opening piano notes were everywhere. But the truth behind it was deeper. Old-time rock and roll wasn't just nostalgia, it was a cry for authenticity. In every generation since, it's become an anthem for people who still believe music should move your soul, not just your feet. Even now, when Seger performs it live, you can feel it, that electric mix of joy and defiance. A song about the past that somehow still feels like right now. 4. We've Got Tonight. Not all songs are about forever. Some are just about tonight. We've Got Tonight came from a place Seger rarely visited: loneliness. Pure, quiet human loneliness. He wasn't singing about lifelong love or promises that fade with time. He was singing about 2 people who just didn't want to be alone anymore. It took him only 20 minutes to write, but a lifetime to understand. He started alone at a piano late one night. No band, no big sound, just a man whispering to himself in an empty room. The lyrics were painfully honest. I know it's late. I know you're weary. No exaggeration, no poetry, just truth. When the band joined in, they played gently, careful not to break the fragile emotion in the song. And that's what made it timeless. Other artists would later cover it: Kenny Rogers, Sheena Easton. But nobody captured the quiet ache that Seger did, because this wasn't a love song. It was a mirror for anyone who's ever sat in the dark and wished for someone to understand them, even for one night. At every concert, when he plays this song, the crowd falls silent. You can feel the shared humanity, every person remembering a night when they felt the same way: tired, hopeful, and simply human. 3. Turn the Page. Loneliness has a sound. And it sounds like Turn the Page. Bob Seger didn't write this one for fame or money. He wrote it because he had to. Years on the road had turned into an endless blur of truck stops, motels, and neon signs. He'd walk into small-town diners, long hair, leather jacket, and feel the stares. Fame was supposed to make life easier. Instead, it made him invisible. That haunting saxophone by alto reed, slow, sad, echoing, sets the mood before a single word is sung. Then comes Seger's voice, worn down but still standing. He sings about the price of chasing a dream, the isolation, the fatigue, the sense that you're performing even when you're off stage. The Silver Bullet Band treated this song with reverence. No flash, no noise, just open space for the sadness to breathe. And somehow that made it universal. Truckers, traveling salesmen, soldiers, anyone who's ever felt alone in a crowd, they heard their own story in it. Even Metallica's later cover kept that same soul. Louder, angrier maybe, but still true to Seger's message that behind every spotlight is a shadow. And every dream comes with a cost. Seger still performs it today. And every time it feels like a prayer for everyone still out there on the road, turning the page one more time. 2 Against the Wind time doesn't ask for permission. It just moves on. By the time Seger wrote Against the Wind, he was 35, and feeling every one of those years. The wild nights were behind him, the road was quieter, but the lessons were clearer. He wrote it while driving through Michigan, watching the horizon shift, thinking about how life keeps changing even when you're not ready. Friends drift away, dreams evolve, and all you can do is keep running against the wind. The song wasn't meant to sound young or loud. The Silver Bullet Band let it breathe, let it feel worn in. The guitar lines were soft but steady, the rhythm patient, like someone who's learned to keep going no matter what. Unlike most rock songs that promise eternal youth, Seger admitted the truth. Time wins. But we keep fighting anyway. That's why the song hit people so deeply. It wasn't about giving up. It was about growing up, and in the crowd, when thousands of voices sing Against the Wind, it feels like everyone's sharing the same struggle. To stay true, to stay moving, to stay alive. Seger once said this was the song that taught him that growing older doesn't mean losing who you were. It means carrying that person with you, even when the wind blows hard. One night moves, some songs take you back. This one takes you home. Night Moves isn't just a song, it's a memory. A story of being 16, broke, awkward, full of dreams that felt too big for a small town. It's about fumbling through love and youth, trying to understand life one mistake at a time. When Seger wrote it, he wasn't that kid anymore. He was in his 30s, successful, famous, but haunted by a feeling that something real had slipped away. He sat down and wrote about those nights, the backseat laughter, the cheap cars, the summer air that felt endless. It wasn't nostalgia. It was truth. He sang softly, almost like he was talking to himself, remembering a version of him that still lived somewhere deep inside. The Silver Bullet Band played gently, letting the words take center stage. No drama, just heart. And when the song hit, it hit everyone. Teenagers felt seen. Adults felt remembered, because Night Moves isn't just about being young. It's about realizing how fast youth slips through your fingers and learning to love the memories that stay behind. Every time Seger performs it, it still feels personal, like he's reliving those nights all over again. Because that's what great music does. It doesn't just remind you of who you were. It reminds you that part of you is still that same person.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.